the first period you had against them last time?
I just think we want to repeat our 5-on-5 over 6 periods against them. It's been pretty good. Unfortunately, we've given up offense on special teams to them, and their top guys have finished. So we still need to check them the same way. Again, in 2 games, having a decent 5-on-5, we've only scored 2 goals. So it's going to be a challenge for us on any given night. Be harder around the goalie, keep it out of our net.
With Lindstrom, who came in last time, what did you see from him last time out?
It's a tough read. He kind of reflected the rest of our team, and that was a very poor team defense game. And it's a tough read to kind of judge anyone individually. I mean, everyone had their fingerprints. I mean, we went through a stretch of 5, 6, 7 games where we were literally giving up between 8 to 12 chances against. We were in the high 20s. And I think our analytics guy had mercy on us, was being generous the other night. So it's a tough read on Lindy. You know, he has fingerprints like most of our guys did on some poor defense. But you know, we wanted to get him in previously because we need 7D, and we had a situation where Ozzy was day to day and wasn't completely healthy, so we got him in. So Ozzy will be back in tonight for him.
How do you know after a game like that, where you're going with a new look lineup, like, do you go away from it right away, or do you come back to it? Like, how do you?
No, great question. We're going to go away from it tonight. We're going to put Ras back in center just because we want Ernie back in, and Suits is going to be out tonight. So it's just we lose a center, so there's a little bit of different look. But again, it was a weird 4 games in that we played 3 games in a row, which we play fairly well, but don't execute in special teams, and we lose all 3 games and not score. We come out the other night, we play poorly, we put up a touchdown, and we score 7 goals. So I still think with 2 new guys coming back in on a day-to-day basis with Fabs and Bert, who are top 6, top 9 caliber type players for us, we're still kind of getting a feel of where these lines are going to settle in.
With Michael Rasmussen, you said back at center tonight. Have you liked him better on the wing versus center?
That's a tough. Ras has had a strong year for us wherever he's played. I think he's been really good on the wing of late. He complimented Larks for a good period of time when Larks couldn't take draws. He complimented Kopp the other day. I mean, they scored on their first 2 shifts, and it was him around the goalie that created both goals. So, we've had the luxury, all those injuries early on, we've had the luxury we've talked about of having some of these versatile players who play wing and center. So I still think jury's out on where he's going to end up, but we've really liked him on the wing. I think it simplifies his game. It allows him to play a little more north-south, hunt pucks down. Not as many of those reads in the D zone for him.
Bertuzzi, both of the 2 times he's come back from the injury, a couple kind of turnovers have impacted the game. Like, is that something that you just expect to kind of happen when the guy's coming back?
No, but we want him to manage his game. It's just been such a tough. People forget he's only played a handful of games. He missed a lot of camp too through injury, so he's had no rhythm to his game. Obviously, the game's always faster than you expect, and it's probably created some of those turnovers. But I give him credit. He had the one stretch. He had the one egregious turnover in Anaheim that literally ended up in the back of our net in overtime. But he was trying to manage his game from that point on and went down again. So I think it'll be a little bit of a process, but we're going to ask of him what we've asked of all of our guys. When we've played well this year, we've limited our turnovers. This is part of his game that I think and hope will come around.
You talk about having that luxury of versatility. As a coach, does that make it easier for you? And I know you've had some tough decisions line-of-wise. Does that make it easier for you to put in player X, Y, Z in a line and shuffle guys out?
100%. And that was the situation. One, to get Adam back in today. One, he had a pretty good game against Toronto. 2, he helps our penalty kill. Probably see having our top 4 with our penalty kill. And there's many different ways we could have went with it. So, having 3 or 4 guys that can play both give us that luxury, so yes.
How important is his forecheck against a one of the smaller decors that you guys usually will see?
Well, I think a lot of our offense comes off the forecheck, and we're playing, I talked about those good 5-out-of-5 type games, even those 3 losses before winning against Winnipeg the other night, when we were actually, out-chancing some of these teams, limiting numbers, had good zone time. A lot of it starts with our forecheck. So I just think when we get to our identity, it looks forecheck based anyway. So I think that's an ask of all of our guys.
How happy are you for someone like Robbie Fabry coming off of an injury and having a good couple of games and getting some points for himself and for the team?
Yeah, he's someone that we were excited to get back. We thought he could bring some energy to us. Obviously, a good stick. He scored in 2 of his 3 games he's played. It just helps our depth. We went through that stretch of the season. We literally had 4, 5, 6 forwards out. Guys weren't slotted correctly. You put Burt back in now. You put Fabs back in. I think guys are slotted a little more correctly, if you will, and it's good. I know it was only 1 game, but the other night, you look at lineup A, you look at lineup B. It was the most comfortable we felt. Guys kind of slotted where they should be. So it's still going to be a work in progress with all these new bodies coming in, get some chemistry with lines, but good on him. But I just think it helps our overall group.
Not just having a good stick either. It seems like he's out there playing really physical, like he's not holding anything.
100%. I mean, you saw he finishes checks. Again, we're not built to be physical, but our team toughness has to come like he brings it. Hard on the forecheck, in people's faces, don't back down, and smaller guy that does those things. I think he drags other guys into the fight.